So welcome everyone. Welcome to today's session. Welcome to Epicentre Breaking Barrier webinar. So first of all, we will do an introduction of Epicentre project. I will do it myself. I'm Núria Serra, project manager in the digital cluster of Catalunya. Then we will move forward with Iolanda. She's a senior advisor and professor, and she will talk about women entrepreneurship and leadership. Then we will move on with Albert. He's an expert in business development and strategic planning, and he will talk about lean startup. And then last but not least, we will have Marc. He's an expert in corporate mentoring and entrepreneurship, and he will talk about the legal and IP fundamentals of corporate and SME collaboration strategy. So that's for today's agenda. I will start introducing what is Epicentre project, a brief introduction of the program and the call that is coming in this week. So for this, I would like to share my screen. So you are here, I guess, not only for the speakers and the topics that we're going through, but also for the Epicentre project and the program that we will do a second call these coming days. So first of all, what is Epicentre? Epicentre is a project funded by the Single Market Program from the European Commission. And what we are looking for is to create new cross-sectoral value chains, establishing corporates, big companies, together with SMEs and startups. In what areas? We are looking for SMEs and startups from the ICT, fintech, health, and agri-food sectors. We are...
Cosa fosse il box, cioè come.
Sorry, I would like to mute your microphone. Thank you. So what I was saying, we are looking for SMEs and startups in the ICT, fintech, health, and agri-food areas. And this is the second call. We already had a successful first call where we have SMEs participating in this acceleration program. We are successfully doing the trainings and mentorings that are in the first phase. And now we are starting the second call. It will be open this Wednesday, 4th of October, and it will be open during 2 months. Now I will go in details about who can apply and all the steps that you will go through. Also very important, who we are. First of all, this is the cluster of Catalunya from the ICT value chain. We also have with us from Lithuania, Litmea, from the food sector. And last but not least, we have CBOs from Italy. This is the consortium Epicentre project. But what is very interesting, what is Epicentre? So in a previous phase, we mapped it together with corporates from different countries, the challenge that they currently have. So we have mapped in different topics and different challenges, categories, the challenges that they are facing. So and then we opened one call. We are opening now the second call for SMEs and startups to do project proposals to propose the innovation solution for these challenges. It's going to be an acceleration program divided in 3 phases. And it's going to be a competition. The first phase, launch, then sustain, and finally drive. Together with these phases, we will have the Epicentre Academy, which you will have access to trainings and mentorings, which will help you to go through every phase. The main objectives of this is to advance the projects to TRL 8 in collaboration with the corporates in a very advanced phase. So this is in a general view what we are looking for. But more important, the financial support that you have for this program, the selected projects. And I would like to mention that I talk about projects because you can come as a consortium. So this is the amount by project, not by SME. So the selected projects that will enter, they will receive up to 42,400 euros for participating in the acceleration program, plus up to 6,850 euros for participating in the Epicentre Academy. So as you see in your screen, in the different phases, as you move on, you receive different amounts by phase, and also depending on the acceleration or the Epicentre Academy. This is the financial support. But what challenge are you interested in applying? Do you have a solution for all of them? So the first topic that we have that corporates shared with us was the digital fintech challenges. We have two challenges. The first one is related to finance solution, and then the second one is related to digital payments and digital identities. The second line that we have, the second topic, is related to agri-food. The first challenge is related to health status of food and production and shelf life extension. And the second challenge is related to new packaging materials and a smart use of resources. And finally, the last topic that we have is related to health. So we have two challenges. The first one related to new digital solutions in the learning and behavioral sphere that can be used by patients and families. And also we have new therapeutic solutions derived from natural products and organic extractions. So these are the challenges. I will ask my colleague if you could share the website of Epicentre project on the chat, because if you go in the website, inside of each challenge, you will have a list of challenges that the corporates has shared with us for these specific groups. So you can just go to the website and see if there is any challenge that you could face, and you could propose a project for this program. So these are the challenges that corporate shared. Once you selected the challenge that you would like to solve, or you have a solution for that challenge, you would enter to the acceleration program and the academy. So first, second call will be open 4th of October, and we will close it 5th of December this year. So you have 2 months to propose, to do project proposals, and we expect to have the results by February 2024. For all the projects that we will receive, 25 will enter to the launch phase. In this launch phase, it will be a first approach of your project, of your proposal, and together with the Epicentre Academy, you will receive bootcamps and mentorings to improve and have a video pitch for the corporates. Once you finish this launch phase and you will be working on this video pitch for the corporates, this video pitch of the proposal will be shared with the corporate and it will be evaluated, and 13 projects will enter to the next phase. So from the ones that will be selected through evaluation, we will move to the sustain phase, which will last 9 months. In this phase, again, together with the academy, you will have mentorings and trainings. You will develop a strategic and technical plan of the prototype, and you will get in contact with the corporate and are ready to create a prototype together with the corporate. Once we finish this 9 months, only 3 projects will move on to the dry phase, where again you will have trainings and mentorings, and it will be the last phase. It will be ready to test. So these are the phases, and depending on if you are moving forward, you will receive different amounts of funding. So this is the main picture of the acceleration program. Who can apply? Very basic. You have to be a EU member state, also from Iceland, Norway, Liechtenstein, or Ukraine. You have to belong in the value chain of health, agri-food, digital, and fintech. And finally, you have to be an SME, including startups, according to the EU definition. And as I already mentioned, you can come as a consortium, as a joint proposal, as a maximum of three SMEs or 3 startups. So this is the criteria to apply. Very important. Oh, sorry. In the website, you will find very important documents. The first one is the document of the call for proposals. In that document, you have everything detailed. You have every phase, the funding, the amounts. You also will see how to submit a proposal. Very important, the evaluation. So everything related to the call, it would be described in that document, and it's the official one. And then secondly, we have this grant agreement also shared in the website, where you would see the terms and conditions in case you would be selected to move on in the Epicentre project. So it's available on the website, so you can check it. And if you would enter in the Epicentre, we would require you to sign it. So it's also important to check it. So how to apply if you are interested and you see that you have a solution up from this Wednesday until December 5th. You can apply. You have a bottom, very easy application form where you will have to answer some questions related to the project that you would like to propose. And yep, that's it. That's all the information that we wanted to share. You have here the website. You can follow us on LinkedIn, on Twitter. We share their information. We also share there the corporates names. We share how is this the first call that we have already done, how is it going? So you can just go there and check if you are interested. So that's a very basic introduction, but I think it was short but very specific information. Again, if you would like to have more information, you can write me on the email, but also you can just check the website. You have there all the official documents. So that's all from my side. Now I will we will move on with the second speaker, Iolanda. So I give you the floor to you.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Could you see the screen?
Yes. Yes, Iolanda.
Let me see what I'm doing here. Okay, perfect. So I'm just trying to move the camera. So good morning to everyone. Thanks again for inviting me to participate in this great program. So Breaking Barriers, second edition, second call. Congratulations to everyone for making it possible. So 2nd October, Monday morning. I hope that you all have a strong coffee morning. Hello, good morning, welcome to everyone. Breaking Barriers. Breaking Barriers is a webinar dedicated to empowering subject matter experts, startups, and women to overcome obstacles and reach new heights in their professional journeys. Through this Epicentre project, this program that Núria has just presented. So as I said, thank you Euroclusters, thank you Epicentre, thank you also to WORSLEY for inviting me. I'm really happy to participate in this second edition. And I think that this is also a celebration for all the members that has already participated in this program, and also for the newcomers, for those that you are today here. And the title for this presentation is Women Entrepreneurship and also Women Leadership. Let's see. Hope that you will enjoy it. At least we had a very good memories of the first edition. It was super fun. So it starts now. It's going to last 1.5 hours. I don't like monologues, so I can just let you know that it will be a very participative and dynamic session. I will count with the great support of Albert. Hello, Albert, say something, because you are going to help me again with this session.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So here, Albert here. I'm the responsible of Epicentre Academy, and I will be helping Iolanda facilitate the session, so you can be involved with it.
Thank you, super. I'm really glad that you are in again. So Epicentre. when Epicentre, let's say Epicentre project contacts me, I was thinking about this presentation, about what I can explain, what I can share, and suddenly I just realized that it was easy, that in the name Epicentre, what is Epicentre? So Epicentre is the part of the Earth's surface directly above the starting point of the earthquake. And suddenly I have like this eureka moment. I've just realized that it was exactly what I was going to explain. Yes, and the session it's about leadership. So how I can connect earthquake Epicentre with leadership. You will see quite easily now, So Epicentre, it's just the surface above, and Epicentre is the inside part. So where everything starts. So Epicentre is just the inside, and Epicentre is the outside, the surface of the Earth. So, and at some point, you will see in the next slide that it's also related with leadership. So leadership could be also described like this, So we have outer layers and also inner layers. To lead outside first, we need to lead inside. So then, if you look at the picture in the left-hand side, we will see that we have also this hypocenter, the personal part, the inner part, and then there are different outer layers, which also we can also read it, the seismic leadership waves, that also means the other parts related with the private and public leadership, So the inner and the also outer layers, and this is what we are going to also talk about. So we can also make this, we can mirror the earthquake with the leadership levels. Important first then to recognize ourselves, which type of leaders we are, and it refers to this inner part, the skills, the beliefs, the emotions, our values, and then how we can influence others. So this is more the outer layers, the private and public let's say layers. So how we can connect with the society, with our teams, with the interpersonal abilities that we have to connect with others. But important always to start with with our personal self-leadership. So this is more or less the list of contents for today: women entrepreneurship and leadership, leader in action, a first-hand and hands-on experience. So on the presentation, maybe it's divided like this, So I will share with you my experience as a launch team leader in big corporates for over a decade. Turning ideas into reality. So this is part of also innovation that also later Alberto will have a second pitch. Making things happen, first time ever. Managing cross-functional, cross-cultural, transversal, traditional, in-person, face-to-face, and remote teams in VUCA environments. And then also there is part of this presentation also, it's about becoming a Gen X entrepreneur. Yes, because 2 years ago I decided to become a freelance, and for me it's like my personal entrepreneurship journey. So and I will share with you my experience as a lifelong learner, up and reskilling myself, connecting with global and local ecosystems like Euroclusters, and cultivating also the culture of the commons, giving and taking. So this is also, this presentation, it's also a personal testimony. I consider myself a servant leader who serves always, who leads always with humility and sense of humor, which is very, very, very important in my life. First question. First question. Let's see if we can hear or read the audience.
Ready? I am ready.
Are you ready? So we need to read, hear some voices. So everybody's there? Are you ready?
I can see there's faces nodding, so that's good. It's a good sign.
Okay. So
do
please,
yes in the chat.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you. Yeah, that's perfect. So you can use the chat. You can also use Albert. And also, yes, if you have questions or if you have ideas that you want to share, it's open. So it's not only me, myself, just speaking. It's everyone. Who am I? Second question, do you know me? By any chance, we have, I don't know, anyone in the audience that maybe, do you know me? Dun, 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 dun. No? Albert, yes, but...
Yeah, I know you. I know your public layer quite a lot.
That's true. You know my public layer. That's true.
But I know your personal layer a bit as well.
Okay.
Because I think your personal layer can influence a bit as well. No? Your values at the end, whatever.
That's true. That's true. So
there's a few no. So no, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. That's a good answer.
Next question. Do you think I'm a leader? Surprise. I cannot see your faces. I can't even read the chat. So you can say, no, I'm not going to put any cross. So you can say, you are not a leader, or yes, maybe, or who knows, or perhaps.
We've got Munir here saying, it seems so. A bit reluctant. But...
Okay, perfect. And you, who are you? Núria and Rosa sent me a list with at least the profiles. Where do you come from? I think that we have more than 80 people online, and also from 17 countries with different profiles and from different sectors. So welcome again to this pitch. So are you a leader? The question is, are you a leader? So you are leaders? So, Albert, how many leaders do we have online connected today in this meeting?
Let's see. We should do like we should do a quiz. We should do a quiz. But any thoughts?
Next time, yes, we will use a Kahoot or something like that, just to measure how many leaders. How many leaders we have today in this meeting?
Javier says in some way.
Javier. Javier.
Maybe not all the time. Javier. Munir says yes, I think so. So Munir, Munir, we invite you to share your thoughts. Fabio says I am an entrepreneur leader.
Okay. Okay, excellent. We have at least 3.
We've got three leaders.
3 leaders. Okay, Javier.
Mateo says I am a team leader.
Mateo, team leader. Team leader. Oh, that's super, Mateo. We will, we will discuss this later. Team leader. Where else? Javier, Munir, Fabio, Mateo. Woman. I need some girls, women's leaders there.
We've got who else? We've got Vishal as well.
Who? Vishal.
Vishal. I think it's Indian name.
Vishal. Okay, Vishal.
Vishal with V.
Vishal. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Let's continue. And Albert, you are a leader, by the way. I don't recall. I asked you this question before. You try.
I am a team leader by heart because I have employees, so I have to. I don't know.
Okay. You are
we will need to ask.
Because,
We will need to ask my colleagues or my employees if I'm a leader or not. I try to.
Okay, interesting.
There's always room for improvement.
Okay, and room for improvement. Let's see later. Let's continue. Yes. So my answer for all of you is yes, you are. You are leaders. Yes, you are. The point is, what kind of leader are you? So that's the other. I don't know if maybe we have some responses. No, what kind of leader? Two of you. No, you said I'm a team leader. I'm a team leader, or I'm an entrepreneur leader. No, so it was Fabio. No, and Javier said sometimes, no, so it's part-time leader, no, Javier, the first word, it was a guy, no, a part-time leader. I don't know if you can be a part-time leader, but what kind of leaders are you? If you have any other comments, so please feel free. This is a very open session. Leaders are made or born? So this is the next question.
What are your thoughts about this?
Fabio says
leaders are made. Leaders are made.
Fabio said made. Perfect. I agree.
Munir says both.
Okay. Both? Okay. Okay. Why not? I can also agree. Both made. Other comments?
Javier says both as well.
Okay, both.
Any other thoughts? You can speak out loud if you want as well. It's okay that you use the chat, but if you want to
direct
say
interaction,
something, you can.
Exactly, you can. We can hear your voice. We want to hear your voice, so you can.
I can start if you want, if you hear me well.
Yes, Munir, go ahead.
My feeling is I said both because I think for some people, leadership is something that you acquired when you are very young and you get it straight. And from other people, some situation push them to become a leader.
Oh.
So that's why I said both. I think you have the two. My feeling is that you have the two cases in the world.
Okay, both. Thank you for for this. Yeah, it's true that maybe the situation can push you, or maybe the role, the function. No, for instance, no, Albert said now, no, that he is coordinating or managing a team. No, so the position, no, that Albert has in this moment, no, is a team leader. No, so but. And I can agree that maybe both, no, made or born, but I will be very, very strong, no, with with my, let's say, beliefs is that leaders are made, not born, no. So we all can be leaders. We all can be leaders, and we all are leaders at some point in a different ways, no. So let's see, let's continue. But thank you, Munir. We will continue with this discussion later with more examples. So, before I'm going to introduce myself, no, who am I and what I can bring to this session. I always say this is important. So I'm here today. Probably we will continue. No, we will contact with you later, and maybe we will at some point. No, we will meet in other meetings. No, but the most important is not who am I. No, what I can bring to this session is who are you. No, and what you take away from this session. So that's why we will ask you, please take notes, no? Because at the end also we will share the takeaways, no? If you enjoy it, what you learn, no? What are the takeaways, no? From this session. This is very important. So who you are. Who am I? So here you have also a QR that will link you directly with my webpage. If I have to introduce in short, no? Who am I? I consider myself, I'm a scientist, so I hold a master and a PhD degree in organic chemistry. I think I do follow the science, no, now and my entire life, no, I was following the science. I'm passionate about management and teaching. People say that I'm creative, good at innovation and implementation, and I also consider myself curious and a lifelong learner. So this is me in short. Also other things, no, that maybe also I can share with you. So I've been working in pharma, in pharma healthcare sector over I think more than 25 years. I was responsible as a launch team leader, for more than 150 launches worldwide, working with more than 15 big companies and biotechs. Also, I was involved in deals and transactions with different companies. I received some awards. I have some papers, also patents, and I co-authored 2 books. So this is me. Okay. But as I said, the most important today, it's not me, it's you. So today, I'm not going to talk about, I'm not going to talk about Formula One. Usually, when people in many lecturers, so people take this type of reference, Formula One. I don't know if you like or not Formula One, if you are a fan of, but today I'm not going to talk about Formula One. We have some noise there. If you can put in, thank you.
Fixed.
Thank you, super, thank you. So I'm not going to talk about dream teams or football clubs. No. Or maybe yes, because women are doing great jobs now. So to be honest, I'm not really interested. No, I'm not a soccer fan. But now I think it's because I'm getting some interest in football, in soccer, when women are doing great jobs now. Finally, and I'm not talking about these big, let's say, orchestras, or the conductor, that is managing these big teams. This is another examples. We can see other examples like the famous chefs, like here we can see Ferran Adrià. This picture, by the way, every time that I look at this picture, it's quite impressive. We have Ferran Adrià and a huge team. I remember that when he was, in the moments, when he had these restaurants, so there were more waiters and cooks, than people eating in the restaurant, So we can see the big team, with Ferran Adrià leading this team. And wow, this is something completely different. We have here a multi-transplant unit. Usually, we can see many people and 1 people in a bed. But this is something different. Usually, we cannot recognize probably any face, any name. Interesting. That's why I put here, in a soft shadow, yes, maybe we will talk a bit about this type of leadership. Let's see. So all these, the Formula One, the football, orchestra, and the transplant unit, or these big chefs, I think that all have something in common, They are famous, prestige, recognition, fame. Some of them have super budgets or sponsors. Yeah, in some of them, we can clearly put names, for the leaders. Yeah. But in our normal life, I don't know, maybe if you participate in this type of, I guess in this type of teams or organizations. So in our normal life, it's not like this. So we are like more normal people, but all of these, they have all something in common. So they need coordination. They need extremely good communication. All of them, they need training, preparation, readiness, and they all achieve the excellence high standards. They have super high standards. Do you agree? What other themes came to your mind looking at this type of organizations or teams?
What it comes to my mind is how to say effort or commitment.
Effort?
Yeah, commitment maybe. Or effort. I mean, I guess we all try to do our best, but I think all of these categories, they do their best, and so that would be it. We've got here a hand raised by Mateo. Go on.
Mm-hmm. Mateo?
Yeah, if
Team
you
leader.
can, Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, sure, Mateo.
I think what they have in common is execution.
Uh-huh.
It's important.
Something.
Yeah. Excellent. No, it's true. No, I thank you to both Alberta and Mateo. It's true. So they have this training preparation, but at the end is what they deliver. No, so they succeed. No, and they whatever they do. No, they do it with a high standards. No, it's also the execution. So it's the result. No, of their work, of this training, of this preparation that finally, no, what they deliver has a super high standards, and people appreciate it, value. No, so usually that's why everybody wants to go to this to see this match or to go to these restaurants. No, it's execution, extremely high level of execution, and also this effort, commitment behind of all this hard work. Hard work. It's not easy. It's not easy to achieve these levels. Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. Yeah, anything else?
We've got Fabius here with an interesting thought. He's saying creativity and innovation. So
creativity and innovation. I like it. Super.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Creativity and innovation. Super. I'm taking notes. Thank you, Fabio. Mm-hmm.
What else? Any other thoughts? Munir says a shared goal.
A shared goal. Wow. Shared goal, creativity, innovation, execution, effort, commitment, hard work. Excellent. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's discuss more about this. So, but I remember, I'm not going to talk about, or yes, as you can see, I'm not going to talk about this type of teams, but yes, I'm not going to talk about, Daniel Goleman. Probably some of you know Daniel Goleman. He's a very well-known and famous guy. You have here, some of one of his best-sellers books. Daniel Goleman also classified different the leadership in different styles in these 6 styles of leadership: commanding, visionary, affiliative, democratic, pathetic, and coaching. So depending, I don't know if you can just identify now, which type of style, fits better with your style. Sometimes it's a combination, and also sometimes this leadership style is a result of the situation. I think it was who mentioned the leadership style, the situation. I think it was Munir, I think. Who said before, depending, one thing is when you were born, and then the situation where that you have to manage, So maybe your style, leadership style, will change or will accommodate, depending on the situation, depending on your age, depending, on the group or team, where you are, So, but I'm not going to talk about Daniel Goleman styles. Also, another bestseller and good bed reading book is this the management of organizational behavior, written by Paul Hartley and Kim Blanchard. That especially in this case, the situational leadership explains, the different type of leadership depending on the situation, task, needs, no, of your team or the team members. So I also like this, but I'm not going to talk about this today. In case that you are interested, you can learn more about this situational leadership. So the fact is that there are many books, papers, subject matter experts, speakers, practitioners, professors, no, that you can see many different books, no, that talk about leadership or effective executive management. So the Start With Why, very famous, the Simon Sinek, Think Again, Adam Grant, many, no, or The Art of War from Sun Tzu. So probably you know, you are familiar, or you have already read it. So the truth is, leadership, if we look at the top skills, top competencies, leadership is one of the top 5, top 10, no, important and growing. So it's important to understand what is leadership, what means leadership for you, what type of leader are you, because you are a leader. And also to pay attention, because it's raising raising competency, so that you need probably to develop, no, and to create your self-awareness and to understand, as I said, no, which type of leader. It's important, no, social leadership and social influence. We can see here, no, the McKinsey, this chart from McKinsey, and also the World Economic Forum, no, with that also put this leadership in the 6th position. Okay, it's important, a social and emotional competency. So, next question. If I could have asked you, describe a leader you admire. So this is a 1 million question. Usually in in-person live workshops, I run this exercise, no? So describe a leader that you admire, or a leader. Definition of a leader. Who is a leader, no? So, and the point is who is your leader, or who one leader that you have identified, why, and the skills. Let's see if you can respond, no? Which type of leaders you admire or not. We have Concheta. I don't know, Concheta, if you want to say something. I can see your face. We have Munir again. Yes, Munir? Yes, Munir. Go?
Yes. Yes. Me, I was saying, me, I admire Steve Jobs, even if I don't know him personally, but I have an image who he is. And what I really like with him is, like, he's very visionary, and overall, he really drives the company with a vision. His vision is enormous, big he has a vision that everyone can relate to. And so basically, he's not giving like orders to people, but he's much more people understand the vision, so they have the vision in their mind, and people organize like around this by themselves, like being independent. And this, I find it very impressive, and I really like it. Okay, thank you, Munir, for sharing a leader that you admire. And also why, no? So it's important not only to say, okay, this guy, but it's because he drives vision, no, visionary, no? So yeah, he can anticipate. He was a very disruptive guy, no? What I heard, no, at least what I know is that let's say, thinking about team leadership, no, I think he was maybe not so good, or maybe the people that work for him, no, they were really working very under pressure, no. But he was very visionary, and yes, I think that we all can recognize, no, what he did, no, and he was a change maker, no, really, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Matteo, you can go next if you want.
Yeah, I think if we want to answer this question, first of all, probably we don't have to take people in common we have. For instance, for me was a teammate that was really a leader that helped me achieve something when I did sport. But if we have to take someone in common, I would say, for instance, Jack Ma. I don't know if you
Jack Ma
of Alibaba. Of course, I don't personally know him, but it seems to be a good human being, and he is really addicted to this concept of leadership.
Yeah. I like both examples, no? So again, we have Jack Ma that he, of course, it's like a Steve Jobs, no? A famous man that also with big companies, no? So that in terms of business, of course, that they both, no? They made incredible, let's say, jobs. But for me, I like also the other examples, no? The teammate that you mentioned, that it's maybe we don't need to share the name, but it's an anonymous person, but it's a person that helps you to achieve something, no? In the sports or whatever, in your professional or personal life, no? So someone that helps you to be better person, no? And to achieve something. And this is really nice, no? This example. Thank you, Matteo, for sharing both. Any other? We have more people.
Any other thoughts? Fabio says. Fabio says. There's no name, but he says that that visionary leader who shares and develops his team personally and professionally. That's his thought.
Develop teams. We will talk about today developing teams, no? Because developing teams and others. I want I want to hear other people in line, no? So Fabio, thanks again. I like again the vision of this leader, but I also like this developing teams, no? How a leader needs to develop teams and others, no? Not only this is a key. This is a key message here. Other people here.
Other people maybe with no businessman. Somebody else. I can go next if you want.
Yes, please.
So a leader I really admire is my conductor in the choir. So I sing in a choir, and we've got this very well. This guy, he's I think he is a great leader because he knows how to listen, basically.
Listen.
And he delivers the message differently to every single person because he adapts his speech to the person. And he is, so why I would say that he listens a lot. So that's also a skill. He knows how to listen, and he has a lot of. He's very patient. He needs to be, and he's maybe it's and he's persistent. If it's something is not working out, and he finds ways.
Determination, persistent, resilience.
And he keeps. I mean, if he's trying to explain something in a way and he sees it doesn't work because he's tried 2 times and it doesn't work, then he needs to find ways of explaining that differently, or maybe he does an exercise. So he's adaptive. He keeps changing his speech, I would say.
Okay, thank you. So, imagine, you all mentioned famous people, no? And also anonymous people, no names, no? But with these ideas, no? They are visionary, drives vision, also helps to achieve results, supportive, they help or they develop teams, and others listen, adapt the speech, change adaptatives, persistence, no? So I would suggest not for today, but maybe also maybe for later, no, when you have time, just to do this exercise, no? So who are your leaders? You can just write down why, no, the attributes, no, the competencies, the skills, no. and also the competences and the skills. I did this exercise. You can see here, different exercises, different pictures, and what we can see. This is just a summary, of this exercise. So, leaders in modern world, what a leaders looks like in a modern world, in our life, influencers, politicians, family friends, change makers, you mentioned, change makers, artists, scientists, activists, religious people, business people. Many. I think that you mentioned these business people, like Jemba or Steve Jobs. But there are other many. Yeah, you can, and also there are good and bad leaders. And sometimes, we can, in these exercises, we can also identify like Hitler or Putin or, politicians or other, in some cases, also bad leaders, So, and why, what they did, to achieve this status, and also the skills or the competencies. And I think it's really a good exercise that will help a lot, also to identify your leaders, So, but again, as I said, you are leaders. You are leaders. You are leaders, and I think I like this sentence. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. At some point, we are all leaders, because we can influence, the people that we have nearby, So maybe it's our, I don't know, sister or daughter or father or a close friend, a loved one, or maybe just another team member, Or so at some point we are all leaders. In my case, this is what I'm going to explain. It's also a personal experience. Leading transversal teams, leading by doing as a servant leader, and also my title was launch team leader. Launch team leader. Team leader. In terms of skill levels, I've participated in teams as a team member. I think that more than 25 years. With the title, I got this title, and I was a team leader for more than 12 years and a traditional manager for 9 years. So we have this like master, I'm like a master of a team member. I got these credentials, and then I think professional as a team leader and advanced as a traditional manager. Let's see. Yes, I was leading more than 150 launches worldwide. I know that some of you work in healthcare, pharma sector or biotechs. So, but we can apply or translate this in other sectors. So it's just launching, it's introducing new products in the market. It's the execution part. After many years of investing money, R&D, developing, testing, validating things, it's time to introduce these products in the market. So I was introducing these products in the market with different therapeutic areas, with different presentations and format, different companies, different business models. And what I learned is that always, there are similar challenges, risks, similar problems, and same key success factors. So this is me. And then the question is, have you participated in a product service launch? So I don't know at what TRL, with technological readiness level, how mature are your solutions, but have you participated in a product service launch?
Any thoughts? Mateo says yes.
Yes, in which one?
Which sector at least? So, Javier, Fabio.
I can take the mic so that it's more convenient. In the SaaS environment, software as a service.
Soft. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and we mostly work for pharma. I mostly work for pharma.
Okay. Okay, it's a good example, the software, because how long it takes a launch? It went well, by the way. How it was your experience launching the software for pharma? It went well. You have many challenges, I would say.
Many challenges. Of course, it was a successful launch, but yes, you have to reiterate all the time and work really hard in the deploy of new updates. But tough, but worth it.
Congratulations, Matteo. Now, Matteo, maybe you can help us to respond to the next questions. It's for you, okay? Can you help us? So here is, launch phase, it's this part, no? So when the TRL is advanced, so when you have tested, validated, iterated, I don't know how many times, no? When you receive feedback, iterate it, improve it, and then, okay, go. So this is the launch, you know, but this happens, no, we have the eureka moment when we realize, no, there is a need, there is opportunity, there is a problem, so you have the idea, and then you develop it, and go. This is the launch time. Okay, Matteo, let's go. Let me see. I will ask you this question later, because if now it's not perfect in my flow, so I will I ask you the question later. Okay?
I'll be ready.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, because if not, I will need to move faster. So let's connect later, Matteo. Sorry for that. So what I was explaining is that launch, but Matteo, if you agree, launch is this very narrow period, no, after development, no, and then it's when you introduce, no, this product, service, no, solution, no, in the market, and it's a very narrow period, no, in the product service life cycle. So this is when you have to connect, no, the R&D activities with operations and with the market needs. This is the launch phase, no. So the go moment, no, it's there. So in my case, I'm going to go directly through this, no? So yes, I was acting as a launch team leader, and I got some awards, recognition as exceptional leadership. Why? Let's see what I can explain you. That is where it all began, really. It began, no, my experience in 2011, no. When I don't know if you have you ever been in Barcelona? Probably some of you are from Spain or from Barcelona. This is Almirai. Almirai, no, it's one company where I was working for many years. Almirai, this is Mitre. This is a very busy, noisy street in Barcelona, and you can see the headquarters, the picture, no, of Almirai headquarters. So suddenly in 2011, no, I was appointed as a launch team leader, no. So for a new product launch. So I don't know if you're familiar or you have family or friends with COPD, the chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, but I was appointed as a launch team leader for a COPD product in the company. The COPD product, this COPD disease affects, by the way, no, the cardiovascular diseases are if you look at this chart, no, are the leading causes of the death globally, worldwide. And the COPD is the third leading cause of death worldwide. No, imagine. No, so there was a need. There is a big problem. So there is a big problem in the world, and there is a need, no, to develop new treatments. And yeah, and I was appointed, no, to lead this product. So we have this. This is also called, no, the smoking disease, no, leading this third cause of death globally in the world. Not bad. And here you have the device. It's not a software in this case, no? So we have a device, but it's not only the device. This is the January device, and then inside of the device we have also a molecule, no? A new molecule, a clidinium bromide, we call it. And the combination of this device with the active pharmaceutical ingredient. All in all, no, the brand was the January. So my responsibility there was to launch, no, it was to prepare a launch worldwide, no, for with this new solution, no, and to achieve as many markets as possible. The purpose, of course, was to help, to improve people with COPD, and to improve people's life with this new treatment. So you can imagine, it's not a software; it's a medical device for an inhaler, and a medical device. So maybe Matteo here again, So we are now in this moment that we are ready, So when people think about launches, usually the idea that comes to our mind is this rocket, Launching a rocket, in the NASA, to the space. So I can imagine myself, at that time in 2011. So Iolanda, you are an astronaut, and you are going to the space, with this device, with the January device, okay? And you will need to achieve, you will need to go to the space. So this is me, but this is not me. So I was super lucky, that I was not alone, because we will see that the most important launching products, it's not only the leader, it's the team, So I was super lucky to have a super big team, with me. But the situation was quite difficult. It was, in my case, first time as a launch team leader. Imagine the situation, the most strategic product in a company, first launch in decades, in 15 years. So not bad, Making things happen first time ever. International launch and multiple SKUs, references, brands, partners. A very complex, difficult, and challenging situation. As you said, Matteo, when launching, yeah, it's difficult. It's first time making things happen, and there are problems, deviations, changes. You need to be flexible, adapt, improve, and yeah, there are crises. There are many challenges to overcome. First time. It's not a production. It's not a routine. It's not business as usual. It's making things happen first time. So it's quite a challenging moment. And the reflection here for this presentation is that I got the title. Yes, I was launch team leader, but a title didn't make me a leader. So, and it was first reflection, when suddenly, I was like promoted, and I said, okay, today you become a launch team leader. And I said, yes, but a title, it doesn't mean many things, So for me, and I started to thinking about, leadership is not a title. And I was just started at that point, more than 10 years ago. What is really a leader? What the leaders means for me, So, Matteo, here, how long new product introduction takes? This is now the question for you. So you said that the software, consumer electronics, how long it takes, to develop a new software, Matteo?
Yeah, it depends. There are many variables.
Roughly, more or less, yeah.
More or less for a software?
Yes.
I would say 5 to 8 months.
Okay. Software, 5-9 months. Okay. For food, new food manufacturing. New food.
Yeah, I mean, if we have to count the analytic part before, to structure the MVP and to make sure all the ingredients are, and of course, I'm not in this environment, but I would say
just guessing
more, because you have to forecast the effect of specific ingredients. I would say 2 to 4 years.
Okay, fantastic. Automatic, new car.
Automotive industry, new car, I would say 2 years.
2 years, okay. New airplane.
New airplanes, okay. Commercial aircraft, manufacturing, 5 to 10.
5, 10, okay. Then we have pharmaceuticals, generic ones, no? So, and then new biopharmaceutical industry. So generic?
Generic pharma would say 5 to 10.
5, 10. And biopharma, new products?
Biopharma, new products, I would say 10 to 20.
Toma ya, not bad, not bad. Not bad, not bad. Okay, thank you. Any other comments or suggestions? Any experts on food or pharma or other people that want to say something here to help Matteo or to confirm Matteo predictions? So.
Any other thoughts?
I also help.
Okay.
Cool.
What's your field of expertise from this list? You can put it on the chat.
Do you agree on on the timeline, the time to market that Matteo suggested? Software 5-9 months, food 2-4 years, car 2 years, airplane 5-10, generic 5-10, and biopharma 10-20. So do you agree, or there's other opinions?
I think it was not bad. I think it's
not bad. It was pretty close. Okay, yes, I'm going to show the results. So the softwares, yeah, it's quite close. No, it's around let's say 1 year, 1 year and a half. If we have Matteo on board on the team, probably it will be faster. So. So make sure that next time you will engage Matteo and it will be faster. Food, 2 years, 2-3 years, so not bad, Matteo. Car, a bit more, 4 years. Pharma, airplanes, it's close to pharma, so airplanes and new biopharma, it's 10, 20, could be 20, so 10, 12, 15, and then generic, it's 5. So, but not bad, Matteo. So congratulations. I think that you were pretty close. So imagine, no. So what I'm explaining here. Imagine that you spend time to market 1, 2, 10, 5 years, no, investing a lot of money, a lot of efforts, no, and then finally it's time to introduce this product on the market. There is a lot of pressure in this moment, no. So there's a lot of pressure. No, market is waiting for you. Business, no, are waiting for you. So and that's what happens at that time, no. So when I launched the product, when we launched in Almira, so there were huge expectations, no. You can see here the press release, also what we can see, in the media, no. Important fact, the new the stocks, no. So it's time to buy, Almira stocks. Almira, it's in a very interesting moment. This is the shining star in Almira. So a lot of huge expectations, no? And me, as I said, no, suddenly coming back to the leadership, no? From one day to another day, I just became a project manager team, and then I became a team leader, no? Launch team leader, no? And I was asking, no, so how I can manage this, no? So how I can manage, no, a team, no, and how I can be a good leader, no? What is the difference between a manager and a leader, no? What makes me a leader, no? So, and they said, okay, there is a manual, what I can read, who can help me. There is a reference, a person that can help me. So, and I was just looking this bestseller, no, the Disruptive Leadership book, no. So for becoming a good leader. But at that time, probably you remember Guardiola, Josep Guardiola. He was leading the dream team, no, Barca dream team, and he wrote this book, no. And I was saying, okay, but I don't like football, so I don't know if I can just translate, no, his leadership experience, no, in football in the pharma company. Probably not, no. And I didn't like football, so okay. But one thing that I like from Guardiola is that they put this Coldplay Viva la Vida, no. When they won the matches, no, and they celebrated the victories, no. So, and I said, okay, maybe I can use also the Coldplay Viva la Vida from Guardiola in my meetings. I don't know. I was just thinking about this, no. For me, I was like reading a white paper, a white book, and I said, okay, let's start, Yolanda, and see how you can manage this moment. But the situation was complex, so because I had a great team, people and team members, people were very, very nice, but I couldn't hire the best. So it was, we had a team that they were assigned. I couldn't really, choose or hire only the best. We had people in the company, they were committed, but yeah, people in the company, it was a family company. Very traditional family company, tall organization, very hierarchical. The project, I told you, it was a worldwide project launch with high expectations, with no other projects to mirror, and very complex because we had a huge competition and a very competitive landscape, with fighting against big corporates, not a big middle-sized companies, big corporations, like all that So. And yeah, the product most strategic, 50 years, an operations team, and I have experience managing people, but maybe not leading people, And I was like me here. I was like, okay, guys, I'm here, leading this launch worldwide. Let's see what I can do. So at the beginning, many of you said, the people leader, I think it was Fabio, people, a leader is a person that helps, developing teams. Also, Matteo and Albert said, team, a team leader, So one thing it's team and the other it's the leader. Team, it's in that case it was a cross-functional team, transversal team, full dedicated team on site, And in my case, I was new, I was new with no experience, no potestas, and the autoritas. You know the difference between the potestas and autoritas? This is important. This is important in leadership. That's another question. You have the potestas, or in my case, I didn't have the potestas, but I had the autoritas playing other roles. You know the difference between potestas and autoritas in terms of leadership? If you don't know, no, this is what is coming. The answer will be in the next slides. Okay.
Any thoughts?
No?
No.
Okay. Authority and power, autoritas, is socially recognized, truth, recognized wisdom, So people recognize you, so you are maybe an expert, or you have demonstrated something, and people believe in you, because you have just it's like facts, So you are like a subject matter expert, or with your behaviors, people recognize you, believe you, and there is something, something that people believe in you, And the other thing is the potestas, the power, So it's you have the power because you have the title, and people recognize the power, So for instance, in a company, it's quite common that they say, okay, he is the line manager, or he or she is the boss, because he will authorize my permissions, or he will approve my bonus, or he will, let's say, take decisions, professional decisions, So it's more like a hierarchical, potestal is more a hierarchical position, right? Is it clear?
Crystal clear. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. So in my case, day one, when I became a leader, I didn't have the potestas, autoritas, maybe in other previous roles, but not so. And I was really questioning, I was a leader or not, So, and with no budget. So the other thing is that I had no budget, which is important, because if you had budget, if you had money, then you can also make a lot of things, But if you don't have budget, then you have more creativity, more imagination. So this is the different organizational charts, no, that you can see, no, the traditional in the left-hand side, functional leadership, no. When you have a leader on the top, it's more like top-down, no, and then you are a leader and you have a staff, no, and then you have, as I said, the potestas, and perhaps it doesn't really goes directly linked, no, and maybe you have the authoritas. In my case, it was this transversal leadership, no? So I was leading across and transversal teams with different team members that every single team member, no, had a direct, let's say, functional manager, no? So this was my case, no? I never had in these 11 years, no, the potestas, but I needed, no, for me to have the autoritas, right? I don't know if there are any person online that can see. Okay, maybe in my case I'm more like a transversal leader, or maybe I'm more like a functional leader. Because the problem, the situation, the challenges that you could face, it's a bit different. But in any case, as I will say, potestas it could work at some point, but it's not the only solution, no? Or maybe it doesn't really mean, no, even if you have the potestas, that you are a good leader. So I don't know. I want to just hear someone that can explain or can see if you can see Miro in this picture. For instance, Albert, so you said that you are a team leader. No, you try to be a good team leader. In your case, looking at the different pictures, so you are more like in your organization.
So, yeah, I mean, I have both. I mean, the autoritas and the potestas, but I try to be in the right. Okay. As far as I can.
And why this is important? Thank you for sharing, Albert. You know what happens. You know that 70% of people, no, leave their jobs or quit their job because if they have a bad boss, due to, you know, because of this of having a bad leader or bad boss. So, and it means that you can have the potestas, but you need always to have the autoritas, no? So you need to inspire others. You need to create this a safe environment. You need to develop others. You need to help others. You need to listen others. You need to adapt your, you know, every single member in your team. It's different, has different needs, no? So you need to you know to help others to achieve you know, their best performance, no? So they need to feel that you are listening them, helping them, developing them, no, and creating an inclusive environment, no. So, and this is important because if you only have the potestas, sometimes, no, that's what happens, no. So you can see here different results, no, why people change jobs, no. People don't quit their job, they quit their manager, no. People don't leave bad jobs, they leave bad bosses, no. So this is a very important messages. So potestas, autoritas, no, and so if you can have potestas or not, no, but you always need not to have these autoritas, no. At least this is my learning, no, from my personal experience. Other thought that I want to share, no, is also what Aristotle said, no. Aristotle, 3 pillars of influence, no, how to influence people. It's first is with the heart, with the head, and with also the credibility, no? So heart, no, it's empathy, values, inspirations, no? So emotions. You need to connect with people because we are human beings, no? You need to connect with people with the heart, no? But also then you have also as a leader to manage, no, arguments, no? So try to also be, you know, with logic, data, facts. So the objective, no? And then ethos, no, credibility, honesty, no. So it's also leading by doing, no. So it's not only what you are saying, it's what you are doing. So honesty, integrity, everything is important. So for becoming a good leader, the good combination of heart, head, and credibility, right? So let's continue with what happens in my history, you know, with this assignment, no, becoming a launch team leader. So it was like in Spain we call it agárrate, que vienen curvas, no. So hold on your hats, no. So it will be a difficult, challenging times, no. Yes, and it was like yeah, very, very, very difficult or challenging, more than difficult, challenging. And then there is this sentence, no, these two sentences, no, business is like riding a bicycle, either keep you moving or you fall down, no, like life is like riding a bicycle, no, so keep moving, no, and sometimes, no, that's what happens, no, so you are assigned, you have a position, and so let's try to do our best, no, in any case, no, and if we even at that time we don't have enough skill, let's try to learn, to improve, no, and to keep going, no, keep moving, no, so that's what exactly I did, no. And 3 years later, so as I said, everything started in 2011. So three years later, no, in 2014, the situation changed dramatically. No, AstraZeneca completes a strategic transaction with Almirall in respiratory franchise. So Almirall sold the respiratory franchise, no, to AstraZeneca. So blah blah blah. No, so 3 years later. So all the, let's say, these respiratory units, no, from Almirall moves to AstraZeneca in this divestment acquisition deal. So, and then it's when it was my learning point. It was my learning point, and if I'm here, it's because during the closure session, I learned a lot. No, we had the opportunity to organize a closing session with a coach, and I learned a lot. No, 3 years later. No. So and now I will mention, no, what I've learned, no, in this in these 3 years, no. So we talk about launch team leader, no, and high performing team. So could you explain the difference between a group and a team, guys? What is a team? We have now we had discussed about leaders, different type of leaders, skills. Product and development and introduction. So we have discussed many different things, but do you know what is the difference between a group and a team? What makes a team a real team, or a high-performing team a real team? Any thought? We want to hear more people.
Maybe a team is a group of people working for the same goal.
The goals, again, perfect, Roberta. Yes, yes, yeah, yes, agree. Yeah, thank you. Good. I think I don't remember. I'm just reading my notes. Someone else before mentioned the goals. No. Yes, agree. What else, Roberta? Do you have any other team? Your experience with teams. What makes a team? The difference?
Again, sharing thoughts and ideas.
Ideas, sharing purpose.
And brainstorming also.
Communication, brainstorming, maybe, no?
Communication.
Excellent. Apps. Okay, I don't know what. Here. Okay. What else? Thank you, Roberta. Anyone that want to also to share experience or any comment on that? Any other comment?
We've got Javier saying it's very similar, like a shared vision, like a shared vision, similar to what we were mentioning. Perfect. What else?
Sharing purpose, sharing vision, ideas, brainstorming goals. So, if I ask you quickly, not to draw, no, what team looks like? Just closing your eyes, no? 1 second. So, if I ask you, please draw, no, how what a team looks like, no? So probably we will see different drawings. We can see, no, here people that draw a team like a circle with different members, and we have here a leader, no, in the same level position. Then we have people that draw, you know, different team members with a leader in the middle, Then we have people that draw like in a linear way, people just following a leader, or then we have people that has the leader pushing the rest of the members, or then we have more this hierarchical vertical drawing with a leader on the top and then the different members on the bottom. So there are different ways to draw a team, and this is how I draw my teams during many years. So we are all the same in the same page. We are all in the same at the same level. Even the leader, even you can draw the leader in a different color, but all the different functions and also the leader itself, as a different function, so we were all in the same position. Everything is important, so everyone counts, so this is the idea. Also, we can draw a team like an engine, that if one piece doesn't work or it gets blocked, then the rest also gets blocked, is stopped, So we need this, that everyone, and that it's that everyone works, and fits with the others, and to get the final results, Other ways to also to draw teams is making connections. We need, that to understand the interdependencies, the connections, amongst the different functions. There are many other ways, to draw teams, like celebrating or with same purpose, or with achievements, or just like climbing the mountain, to achieve something, So, but it's a common goal, a common purpose, a common vision, working hard, in a table, So it's effort, perseverance, resilience. Teams can have different sizes. It's important, the size of the team, and also here, this is the human tower, the Catalan human tower. So depending, if the project is big, probably you will need a huge team. And you will need, this perfect fit, So different people, different ages, different functions, and working together, to achieve, or to build this castle in this case, So, but this is not it's going to happen just quickly, in one day. So initially, when we start a project, we have, a community, a different members, different people. They are working like a group, individual people that they join first time, so group of people, individuals, that then, depending on the duration of the project, the complexity, they continue, they will evolve, working as a working group, as a team, and finally, at some point, they can achieve the high performance status, and this is what I'm going to explain when it happens, So because this is a process, and you need time, to develop teams. And I want to reinforce this, that you said at the beginning, So a team leader, it's a person that helps, to achieve something, helps me to achieve something, or it's a person that develops teams, It was Fabio who mentioned this, So the task, the duty, of this leader, is just to, to help this group of people, group of individuals, to move from this initial status to this other status, to a higher status. So, and the leader, what leader helps, it's also to orientate, to align, to inspire, to coordinate, to give this vision, or many of you, or today, thinking or discussing about leadership, it's vision, vision, direction, giving direction, vision, where we have to go, how we have to proceed. This is the way, So this is an important task of the leader. So, for me, one of the things that I learned 3 years later, it was this Tuchman model, So initially, when you build or when you kick off a meeting or a project, so initially you met people. It's a working group, in this phase forming, and then At some point, there will be some tensions, no? That you will need to accommodate, and you will need to establish, no, these goals, this vision, these processes, these ways of working, and at some point, no, this team will improve, no, the effectiveness of this team will improve, and probably you will reach the norming status. And at some point, you will also achieve the performing or high-performing teams, the journey part. When you achieve these high-performing teams, means that you don't need a leader anymore. So when you achieve this adjourning status, people, the team, knows perfectly how they have to operate. They don't need they know the purpose, they know the goals, they know how they work, they know the processes, they know each other, and then they don't really know any other person. So the leader can leave. And this is exactly what happens to me, no, in 2014, no. So I moved, no, from Almirai to AstraZeneca, and the team, no, continue working together, no, in Almirai, but without the leader, no. So and they achieve this high performing status, no. So, but our duty as a leader, it's just to help this team to develop and to improve, no. So it's a question of time. So you cannot create a team or a high performance team quickly. So you need time. In some cases, no, depending on the project, 2-3 years. And for me, the learning was the leader needs a team, but a team may not need a leader. No, so this was my learning experience. No, and this is something that I wanted to share with you. No, so I was a leader. I was finally a launch team leader. But of course, a leader needs a team. So you cannot lead alone. No, so you need people. You need people, no? And then if the team achieve this outstanding, no, high performance status, no, they can work, no, only with a goal and with a common vision, with no leader. That's also another reality. I don't know if you were aware or not, but this was my learning. Any comment here? It surprised you, or maybe you already know it, or maybe you already experienced this situation?
It seems impossible for me to get from performing to adjourning. I can see the others more or less, hard work, time, so on. But then the last step.
It happened. So imagine that we were launching in many countries worldwide, no? During these 3 intense years, no? So we know each other. We perfectly know the different functions and the different, interdependencies. We overcome so many problems. We improve, streamline all the processes. We know how to advance, improve timelines. No, we cope with so many deviations that finally, no, all the puzzles, no, everything, was perfect, no. So and that was incredible, no, because they the team really exactly know how then to continue with the rollout launches, no, without a leader, no. It's like when then it's more like when they really did an incredible job. For me, it was like a pity, of course, leaving the company and leaving the team, no. But I could really understand that they could manage everything alone, no. But it was after these 2 years, no, of intense work, no, and working together, no.
But for you, it must have been also a process of letting go, because at the end you have the responsibility, you have some some objective to pursue and so on, and it's it gets to a point. It's that how do you end this
So how it ends that finally with the core team, we became very good friends. No, so I think that we overcome so many problems, no, and so many challenges, no. And we were just working very hard together, no. That finally, yes, apart from being a great colleagues, no, with many of them, no, we also became good friends, no. And even if finally now we are in a different companies in different moments, no, but we are still in touch, no. We keep still in touch, no, and we all remember, no, those times and what we learned from those times, no. So. Yeah, that's life, I will continue because I want to hear, no, at the end, no. So I will. We have maybe 5 extra minutes, no, leading by doing. So this is the experience that I wanted to share: leading by doing, leading by example. I was one of the team members as a leader. But the most important always is to recognize ourselves, no? Which type of leader are you? So this is linked with the beginning of this presentation. No, first it's to recognize the epicenter, no, and also then the way you inspire, no, or you connect, with the epicenter, no, with the outer layers, no. So to understand which type of leaders are you, and then what you transmit, what you can communicate, to the other layers, no, the surface. Leadership starts with self-leadership, recognizing our own strengths, capabilities, no, and how we put them on service of the human community. And strong self-leadership, plays a key role in women entrepreneurship, of course, also in men entrepreneurship. We have seen different here. We have in the line with different entrepreneurs. So it's important to understand this self-leadership, how we can use these powers, superpowers that we have, we all have, to influence others and also to become a good entrepreneurs and good leaders. So first look at the mirror, and then to identify. So we can see here, the ups and downs, the different emotions, feelings, beliefs, values, who you are. In my case, I'm like this, I'm like a joy, So yes, I'm this type of persons, that I'm always optimistic, with good mood, let's say, constructive, trying to, okay, let's go, even if there are problems, we will sort it out, let's go together. So I'm more like this type of person, which is good and bad. So everything has the 2 sides, So you can transmit passion, energy, being a light bulb, speed, global vision, but we have to recognize that there are people, with different levels of energy, that maybe you have to slow down, you have to, control your passion, your energy, step by step, because as Albert said, it's important, to adapt to listen others, to understand the diversity, to understand that every single person has different needs, or speeds, So my attributes could be positive for a team, but also could be negative, So this is what I said, It's understand who you are, and how you can be the best, how you can contribute best in your team, but also realizing that these attributes sometimes you have to modulate, depending on the moment. So I'm optimist, generalist. I'm imperfect. I'm not perfect. So that's it. That's life. Maybe I'm too hard on me, self-demanding, perfectionist. So I need to manage this. This is recognizing ourselves, I'm really a people-oriented person with vision, values, with a strategy, planning details. That also helps, teams. I'm a thinker, but I'm also a doer. So I like that to implement things, risk taker and problem solver. So who you are, who you are is important. So remember that leadership is not a position or a title. Leadership is an action. So you are all leader, and leadership is doing the right things and helping others to be better people, You said, this leader helps me to achieve, or this leader, has vision, this, so maximum Leader is that one that helps to be, to be better people or to achieve the maximum performance from, an individual or organizational standpoint. Right? Team leader. Then the most important, when you are a team leader, the most important is the team. That's it. I will go quickly through this. Important then to develop teams and to develop individuals with heart and soft, with tools, with vision, but also, managing hard and soft aspects. Yes, it takes time, so you cannot develop teams in 1-2 weeks. It takes time to go from good to great. So that was my experience. Hope you like it. Then later on, when I moved to AstraZeneca, I started leading virtual teams. This is a completely different whole story, because when you are managing, leading in-person, face-to-face teams, you have more interactions, when you are working in a virtual remote settings, it's different. So you need also to understand other aspects. I'm super happy. If you want to continue these discussions, you can contact me, and I could also facilitate or give some recommendations. But yes, it's different in terms of cultures, languages, time frames, different, more interruptions, less emotions. So it's more challenging, I would say, to develop high performance teams in a virtual settings. But you can also make a good job, but you need to manage in a different manner. That's true. Simplicity, make things easy for everyone. Keep it simple. Always communication. Communicate. Make sure that everyone feels involved. Be a very cohesive person. Provide this vision, the global vision. Repetition is important, because when you are, in these multi settings, so it's important to be clear and also concise, and so it's important. And always celebrate, celebrate the achievements. Give clarity, as I said, and communicate. Okay, and celebrate. I don't know. I think we are finishing here. I have just some more examples. I think that we can move to this one. There will be difficult moments for sure. Yes, there will be difficult moments, crises, interpersonal conflicts, different points of view, discrepancies, moments that will be tiring or even more than tiring. Don't panic. Try to always to be the best of you. And leadership for me means many things, like loyalty, ethics, authentic, being a doer, empathy, resilient, servant, humble, inclusive, and also people. Think about people. So that's and be grateful. That's another point. So be grateful. Try to always to say thanks. And also congratulate people for their contributions, real and authentic. And I think that's it. So from time to time, try to put the Coldplay Viva la Vida, and have fun. I know that we are more or less on time. I was a bit rushed in the last minutes, I know, but I appreciate also your contributions. I think that makes this experience more like a collective and collaborative learning experience. Now I want to give you the floor again, and I want just to hear what was your takeaways, what you learned from this session. If you agreed or not, or if you have other thoughts, or if you want to share other, your experience, a quick takeaways from this session. Thank you, Albert.
There's some interesting thoughts in the chat. We've got here some some arguments with maybe Yaroslav or maybe Fabio, you want to speak out loud, or else I can read it out loud. Fabio was saying a group is only a join of people. A team is a group of people that know each other, work together, same direction, goal, and share ideals. And we were discussing the difference with that. And now recently, Yaroslav has mentioned that the most important thing to do on the journey of leadership is to really know yourself. I can agree with that. Understand who you are, what special gifts you have, and to express them in what you do. Taking responsibility and being willing to be accountable is the real hallmark of leadership. And being willing to fight for what you believe is the core of leadership. Isn't it? Some interesting thoughts as well. When that happens quite often, when there's success, then the leader, or the bad leader is takes all the pride.
Exactly.
And when there's when things go wrong, then it's the team problem.
Don't blame on others. That's what yes, I know that I was a bit fast, quick at the end, no, but yes, it's be grateful, say thanks, congratulate, celebrate the small achievements. Share. It's not that, again, the team leader, the most important is the team, not the leader, no. So you are who you are because thanks to the team members, no. So it's a joint work, no. So you are part of the team. So yeah, you have to share this no. If finally there are successful moments, so don't celebrate it, no. Share these achievements, no, and say thank you and be grateful. It's super important. Yes. What else?
Any other thoughts?
So Mateo, that I can see you here, or Roberta.
Yeah, I put some notes. It was a useful section. Of course, I liked something I saw on a book I didn't read yet on leadership, and I can relate myself a lot. Leaders it lasts, for instance, and this is extremely true. And I like the comparison between power and authority. Of course, I work in a corporate, so we follow this kind of courses in the past, but it's always important to remember this as I'm working in my own startup as the CEO, so I aim to be a leader, of course. So these are really important concepts.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yolanda.
I'm sure that you are doing a very good job, Mateo.
Yeah, I try to do my best.
Thank you. Who else? I don't know. Last comment. So we want maybe to hear last takeaways.
Yolanda, I have just to say that I've already followed your webinar in the past, and I always appreciate your enthusiasm, proactive and interactive way you communicate with us. And so I will bring again, once time, your enthusiasm.
Thank you, Roberta. It's. I have to admit that it's challenging because
a key for leaders, enthusiasm and positive.
Yeah, it's true. Even if in bad days you have always to keep your smile on, because there are difficult moments. Life it's not easy. Innovation it's not easy, no. So there are really bad, difficult moments, challenging moments, no. And if you are a leader, it's okay, guys, no. Just try to, let's see, no, to keep calm, no. See, to find if there is a problem, try to find a solution, no, to reduce tension. But it's not easy always. And also thank you, Roberta, for your comments. We know that this session, no, I prefer maybe this interaction, no, to hear from others, no, to also to receive, to hear other voices and your experience, because also this helps us, no, to make a more a more impactful, sessions, no, with your thoughts and with your experience as well, no. So. Yeah, thank you, Roberta. Anyone else? No?
I just wanted to say thank you, Yolanda. As always, it's a pleasure to have you here and a very interesting session. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you. And remember that you are all leaders.
Thank you, Iolanda.
Thank you.
So I think it's time to move on to the session of introduction to lean startup that Albert will lead. So floor is yours, Albert.
Thanks, Núria. So Iolanda, you can stay if you want. You can, if you have other things to do, you can just leave. So I'll share my screen. Hopefully I do it well. There you go. I will share first the agenda again, so we all know where we are and what are we expecting. So again, we are in presenting Epicentre project, and at the end, corporates or startups are just numbers. So that's why we thought leadership is essential, and that's why Iolanda was first. And then now we are jumping into the more. We're basically scratching a bit the surface on what's going to be in Epicentre Academy. So if you apply to the program and if you do this journey with us, with the corporate, you will be working on two main things. You will be developing your product, basically, or your service. So that's what we're going to cover now, just methodologies to make this product launch or make this innovation better and faster and reduce risk. And then you're going to be collaborating with a corporate, because the goal of the project is to advance to this Tier 8. So that's why we will have later on at 12 o'clock, more or less, Marc, that's going to be talking about the basically fundamentals of SME collaboration strategy. Okay, so let's start with the second part, which I've titled "Why Startups Fail." Okay, so probably around here with me today, there's several entrepreneurs and some of them you have seen, Matteo and all the rest. You have your startup, or you are in a company, and being in a especially in a startup, starting a new business is quite challenging, as you may know. Huh?
The idea we will be until 12 and maybe 10 minutes past 12, talking about lean startup, and then Marc will go on fundamentals. So I had started my part by showing a bit the figures about startup ecosystem, and I was mentioning that during the years, you can see here in blue the evolution of the number of startups that have been created. In this case, the number of startups that are alive, and you can see this has been growing exponentially throughout the years. And if we have a look at investment as well, it's a bit the same. So there seems to be a good momentum. People invest in innovation. They invest in business ideas, and well, this a bit helps to understand the fact that there's a need for innovation. We need to innovate as a key element for competitiveness, and also to be sustainable. Probably now inflation is gonna slow this down a bit, but momentum is there. Okay, and to that graph, we saw this bit in blue, but we also have this this pink part, which is the number of dead startups. Again, so maybe the figure itself is quite exciting, but it has a shadow. It has a shadow of this number of dead startups that every year, they fail to bring their business models or their business ideas forward. So if we look if we take a closer look in figures, we can see that that's the US startup survivor curve, and it basically tells us that only about 40% of startups make it beyond a Series A. Okay, so most startups, they just they fail to move forward within the first few years. Okay, now we're going to explore a bit why is this the case, and how we can make it a bit better. Because the fact is that statistics show that in spite massive investments, time, financial resources, innovation, and so on, well, these initiatives often fail. Startups often fail, but we can also bring back to take that to business ideas as well, and to projects, I was saying. So in case of startups, this failure rate can reach up to 90%. So this is quite astonishing. You can just imagine the amount of money and effort that basically, to some point, it goes basically down the drain. Obviously you've created some jobs, you've bring that technology forward and so on, but there's always key learnings. But at the end, it's a project that will not go forward. So just imagine if we could make this more efficient. Just imagine if we could take that, reduce this failure rate just a bit. That would have a huge impact. So that's a bit what the session is about today. Okay. So at the end, at first we can say, wow, this figure is quite astonishing. These failure rates are, these survival curves are quite, they're a bit scary. But at the end, if we start to analyze these figures, there's a reasonable reason for that figures. And I think the most important idea here is that maybe these figures are not that strange, because at the end, startups are basically business experiments. So most startups start with negative cash flows, and they need to, they start their journey with based on expectations. What they try is to keep these expectations high with the several, investment decks and so on, until they manage to develop their idea and bring it forward and make it a success, make it win money at the end. Startups are experiments, business experiments, so it's not that weird, it's not that strange that most of them end up failing. Because startups are prone to failure at the end. They are innovative, they're riskier, they're testing assumptions, so they're quite likely to end up failing. But if we have a look at why startups fail, we have here the report from CB Insights. We can see that the most top reason is running out of cash. So this is quite, I guess if I had asked this question, most would have come up with the same conclusion at the end. As I was mentioning, small startups start with negative cash flows, so it's not surprising that the main reason for failure is running out of cash. Well, in fact, this poor burn rate, or not controlling this churn rate correctly, is one of the main startups killers, and should be one of the main obsessions of entrepreneurs. It's basically trying to keep costs low so you can last a bit longer in time. So you have the same amount of funding lasts for a bit longer, so you have a bit longer time for development and so on. And so far, this is not surprising. What I do think it's quite surprising is reason number 2, which is that basically CB Insight is saying the second reason why startups fail is that there's no market need. So basically this means that startups fail because nobody wants the product or service they have developed. So I don't know if you can think of any case that has been on the news and that you have read that can illustrate this fact. I will share a few. Maybe you know them, maybe not. This can be like small startups that they fail. Google Glasses, that's a good example. And more like big corporate, not that a startup, but yeah. I mean, there's others. For example, don't know if you know this one. Colgate, they launched a product in the product line in the frozen food in the 80s, and this was a complete failure. There's others. There's McDonald's. They did a spaghetti. They started selling spaghetti. It was a failure as well. Pepsi. They launched a product that was meant to be drunk in the mornings, when you wake up. Just instead of drinking coffee, they thought that people would drink Pepsi at 7 a.m. But in fact, they realized that what people wanted was coffee, not drinking Pepsi. So at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. So that was another failure. And there's other examples like Cheetos lip balm and many others. We can think of some products of Nokia or Google Glass or Segway. We can think of many others. But what do all these failures, we can say, have in common? What do they have in common? So basically, what they have in common is insufficient market demand. Most of them, not all. Nokia, we could discuss a lot about Nokia. We could discuss about Segway, but well, at the end, 3/4. This Penskin study says that 3/4 of innovation fail because there's not sufficient market need or market demand at the end. And then there's some other reasons of course, like innovations didn't work well enough or other things. But again, interestingly, the main reason behind all this failure, in spite of these large corporations like Google, Nokia, and so on, having huge amount of resources, the best teams in class, everything, the best technical capabilities, they still ended up failing. So, well, and they failed because there was no market need. So, but how can that even happen? How is this possible? It seems to be the most important thing. No? Just you develop something to cover a need. Well, right? Things happen. Okay, so a part of the training of this Epicentre Academy is oriented to trying to sort this out, or trying to put the customer first, trying to apply at the end the Lean Startup methodology. Okay, and now I'm going to cover just very briefly the surface of this methodology that is basically oriented in reducing risk in new business development or new product development. So basically, Lean Startup methodology is based on 3 concepts. It's based on experimentation, so it's based on not building silos with your teams and thinking that your product is the best of the world. It's trying, testing. So experimenting is like developing and keep going on. Then making questions, or asking yourself some questions about your product, about the acceptance. We will see, and then trying to get feedback from people. So basically, Lean Startup is a framework of building successful startups, basically focusing on this concept: experimentation, customer feedback, and also testing assumptions. Because probably what Google Glass, Google Lenses, or Segway, or others had in common is this curve of building, or this curve of innovation. So basically, you have some time, and you have some. We can put money here, we can put risk, but at the end is, well, you can spend a lot of time, and then if you spend a lot of time without checking with the market, then you take more risk. And the principles of Lean Startup methodology is lean. Lean means without sufficient quantity. So it's based on testing small. It's like this methodology is quite extended. Agile methodology is quite extended in software development. This is quite similar at the end. It's okay. Let's try with an MVP. Let's test it with the market. See what's the pushback. See what's the reaction. See what's the feedback, and then developing based on the real market demand. So basically, the whole Lean Startup methodology is focused on hypotheses, because at the end, when you start your business, your startup, so on, you have made probably several hypotheses. I don't know if you can think of any of your hypotheses in your startup. Basically, hypotheses are things that you have taken for granted or accepted as true, but without proof. Don't know. So I'm developing a software for whatever market. It's probably you have done some, the features that you have put in the software are based on some hypotheses, no? Some thoughts that you have put. So you can think of many different kinds of hypotheses for your startup. A very good exercise to do with these hypotheses is try to put them in a chart. Try to put them in a chart to see which hypotheses of your business idea, of your project, you think you know very well, or those that you think you don't really know that well, and then classifying whether you think that hypothesis is critical or whether it's not critical. And we'll do an example later on to help you see how this methodology works. So basically, the lean startup principle is that you've built your startup or your product based on some hypotheses, things that you think you know, or things that you have taken for granted, but maybe you don't really have the proof. And then there's a whole methodology called the Lean Experiment Map that is basically to test, to validate and validate this hypothesis. And and this can be done through the different things. We'll see interviews, we can do prototypes, we can do landing pages, and so on. And what's interesting about hypotheses is that there's several kinds of hypotheses. No? And not all these assumptions have the same relevance. Well, probably all the assumptions are really relevant, but even still, there's differences, and we can basically split these assumptions. Probably you can think of many in your startup, and this can be split in three main topics. So there's hypotheses or assumptions of your product service about if people want this product or this product or service or not. No? So what are my target customers? What problem am I solving? How my customers are solving the problems today. Okay, that's the kind of questions that these hypotheses try to answer. What's the outcome of my customers want to achieve, so on. And this is the kind of questions that desirability hypothesis would answer. Then there's feasibility hypothesis. So basically, it's can we do this? So what's the technical challenge that we're solving? What's the that we have? What's the legal or regulatory risks? So how all the hypotheses related to developing the product or service as well, the product or service, and basically there's a hypothesis about viability. It's like, should we do it? So that's mainly related with money or business arena. How we'll get a revenue stream? What's the acquisition channels? How will the customers refer us to new customers? Questions about this is the kind of hypothesis the kind of question that viability hypothesis would answer. Okay, most of projects, or quite a lot of startups or technical development teams and so on, they focus on feasibility. At the end, it's the core of your startup, the solution, the technical point of view. So it's important that you put a lot of focus on this. There's then some others that they focus a lot on feasibility and they focus a bit on viability. So it's basically whether they do a business plan. You check your numbers. Okay, we're gonna grow that much, so on. We need that amount of investment. Normally, feasibility and viability parts of product or business of startup development are quite well covered. What's sometimes left a bit apart, it's desirability hypothesis. Because sometimes people take that as for granted. Okay, and just to illustrate, I'm going to put an example with a company, with a real company that basically this startup was developing a solution which was a drone okay, with a camera that was meant for farmers, okay, so that farmers could collect images, they could generate data, and so on. Okay, so that was the product. The idea was that farmers would buy this drone to help them in their managing their fields and so on. And in this startup idea, well, this startup had made several hypotheses, several assumptions. So while they assumed from a technical point of view that drones can deliver usable images, but then they also thought that data can be presented to farmers in a usable way, that farmers can use the pictures on whatever data this drone generates to take some action. That's important. That farmers will use the data to treat the fields. So we're assuming that the farmer does not have all the information they need to optimize or to run the field as efficient as possible. They assume that farmers struggle with diseases and unfit irrigation. It's important as well. So they assume that this farmer has a problem, and so on. That from a technical point of view, again, that software can stitch together field images, blah, 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 blah. So we can do is classificate or sort out all these hypotheses into the three groups. So basically, that's the hypothesis classified. So there's a hypothesis about feasibility. So if software can do the work, if the drones can deliver usable images, so on. There's hypothesis about viability, that farmers will have budget for a value proposition. They will pay for it. That farmers will use the data to treat the fields. And that farmers are willing to pay, and as I was saying that farmers are open to share the data, so on. And then there's some hypotheses on desirability as well, basically, that farmers will struggle with the diseases and so on. And what happened is that, well, this startup focused basically on this one, and they didn't really check out these desirability hypothesis. So what happened when they went to launch the product? It was a bit of a disaster. So what they had to pivot their business plan, their business idea. And what was the key pivots? What they see that they had to change? So they went from drones delivering crop data to irrigation insights that grow farm profits. So they realized, they probably later on did some interviews with the farmer, and they realized, well, that maybe crop data, it's not important for the farmer. What farmer is looking for is optimizing the profit from their field. And also they had to pivot on the channel. Here we had some hypotheses that the farmer will use the drone and so on, but at the end, when they interviewed these potential customers and when they iterated the business idea with them, they realized farmers have a lot of work to do. They have to go on the field and get the job done. They don't really have time to go with a drone and so on. So they had to pivot their business plan to the drone being mounted, or the camera being mounted on, in this case, small aeroplanes, flight services companies of small, probably that's in the US. There's maybe these the smaller planes are used more often and so on. So this you can see, and through that, while the company achieved good funding, good revenue, and so on. This is just a very brief example of applying this methodology. So at the end, what they did, they did a list of hypotheses of their company. Okay, they listed all the hypotheses. They sort them out between desirability, feasibility, and viability, and the key point here is focusing on desirability. Okay, and what you do with all these hypotheses, you put it into the matrix, and then you select the most critical and the most unknown, and then you go out in the field to see if you can validate or invalidate this hypothesis with data. That's basically the point. Good thing about desirability hypothesis is that you don't need to spend money to validate or invalidate desirability questions. You don't need to spend a lot of money. Maybe with a small product. Maybe with an interview, you can get to know what the customer problems are, how are they solving this situation now, and so on. And then there's many things that you can do. You can do focus groups, you can do fake landing pages, you can do interviews, and so on. You can do, maybe you don't even need to build a functional prototype. You can do a prototype. Maybe you just, if it doesn't even need to be functional, maybe just to share the concept with the customer is enough to validate or invalidate these assumptions. So you see some strategies to do so. And this exercise about assumptions and identifying the assumptions of your corporate and prioritizing and so on, this is one of the exercises that is done through the training. Okay, and then what the training on the first phase is about as well is interviewing customers or trying to validate or invalidate this hypothesis, mainly focusing on desirability. And most of the times what we find is that people lie. So it's always important, maybe not lie, but they do lie, but they sometimes, they try to put it in a way so that you feel comfortable, or maybe, so it's asking the questions the right way. It's also an art, and we'll be exploring that during the training, because we say people lie, and they don't always do what they say. That's important. Or if you say, will you buy my product that's for that price? Oh yes, this product is great. Oh, that's okay. So probably they say that we'll do something, and maybe they end up buying it. People don't always say what they think. Maybe they say something, but they think something else. And people don't always do what they expect them to do. The customer a few months ago told me that this was great, but now it is not anymore. One thing happened. And here's we won't have time, but this is a fun video of a festival in the US. Okay, and in this video, there's an interviewer, and what he does is they keep asking people about fake musicians in the festival. They just made this interviewer. They just makes the artist name up. They invent it, and then they ask, okay, so what's the reaction about these artists you've just listened to? And they
I just like their whole style, like their whole.
I love it. Yeah, but they're making it up. So you see that people lie sometimes just to feel that they fit. And also some interesting facts from Henry IV. If I had asked people what they wanted back in their days, they would have said that they wanted faster horses. So always it's important to keep. It's important to write the questions the right way. Maybe not focusing on what's the solution. Maybe you need to think about the solution, but paying attention, or making making important all the hypotheses about, okay, what's the real problem. I have a few examples here. Tell me the last time about you had this problem, or the context of this problem was what was the difficulty, why was it difficult, why is it a problem for you, how are you solving it now, why wasn't it as good as you imagined, that sort of thing. So it's important to, and then what you do in this methodology is you try to measure objectively. What's the result? Okay, so I've interviewed 10 customers, and 7 has told me that it's a good idea. But it is not a good example. But they've told me that 8 have the problem. Okay, and they have this need or whatever. So it's a good way of putting some figures, objective figures, to your unknown hypothesis. And I think we have time to put another example, which is, I think, will help you visualize the methodology. So this is this is a, let's say this is a startup or this is a business idea that for real estate. Okay, so this is basically a software solution for real estate companies. So for companies that sell flats. Okay, and the value proposition is to sell properties. Well, what the real customer has to do is to sell properties faster at a higher price. They need to sell properties fast, and the higher price, the better. That's a bit the. So the customer is the real estate agents. The problem these customers have is that properties with bad pictures are hard to sell. So maybe you've seen these pictures of houses, then you say, okay, maybe if you're not a professional, then the picture is not that well, and you end up not selling the thing. And the solution that this software that this company offered is a professional photographer and decoration. So it's a service within this classified real estate ads of professional photographers and decoration. Okay, and following the methodology, okay, let's see which has the most critical and most unknown hypothesis for these real estate agents. In this case, well, they said, I assume that the agents will pay for staging a professional photographer service to help them sell real estate faster and a higher price. Okay. So let's see if they will be willing to pay a plus for that. And this is one hypothesis, and then you can design the experiment. Okay, design the value proposition, see what the examples, good or bad pictures. And try to sell the service to the real estate agents, and ask for some quantitative feedback. And this could be one possible hypothesis. And then you can have some metrics, success metrics. Okay, so I will validate or invalidate the idea if 50% of the agents will ask for a quotation about my fake service, about the service that I'm inventing, that I'm sharing. And then you do your time and research. This is probably most likely the hardest part, trying to find people that does the and so on. And then you analyze the results, and then you say that if the hypothesis is validated or invalidated. Okay, this is one of the just a quick, very quick example of how this lean startup methodology is applied. Okay, and then you validate or invalidate the hypothesis, and then you get some insights. Well, they may say, okay, now I've done the interviews and I see that they don't have the exclusivity on properties. Okay, so they may sell it or not. Or they all agree that pictures help to sell faster at a higher price. Well, this is a good hypothesis that you've validated. Or they would pay for a service only in a success fee model. Or maybe you can validate, see which is the best business model that you can think of, and so on and so forth. Okay, and most likely what's going to happen when you close the experiment loop, or when you validate, or when you think of assumptions, you design the experiment and you go out and test it, things can happen. So it's a famous boxer that says that everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Most likely you will identify some hypothesis that you say, oh, that's not what I thought, or that I thought I knew that, but it's not working out, or the customer feedback is not as well, it's not what I thought. So it's good to be here agile to iterate this idea, and focusing, as I was saying, on the desirability hypothesis, and why desirability hypotheses are so important. And with that, I will finish. Basically it's because customers don't buy your products, they don't buy your solution, they buy it to solve their problems. No, they don't buy products, they buy solutions to their problems. And that's a bit the broad introduction to what we're going to be seeing during Epicentre Academy, that we're going to have deep dives in these methodologies, and through boot camps, mentorings, one-to-ones, and so on. And well, I can say that the first call is going really well. We've got some of our pupils or some of the startups in the program that have won some innovation pitch, and they said, "Oh, that this methodology helped us really align the pitch and so on." So I really look forward and having you on board in the academy if you apply for the program. So thank you very much. Sorry about the issues with the internet and so on. And now I'm gonna, because we're a bit out of time, so I'm gonna jump straight to Marc, and he's gonna end up the session with this framework on startup and corporate collaboration. Okay. So thank you very much for your attention, and Marc, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Albert. Thank you very much, and good morning to everybody. And this is Marc Milian. I'm working in WORSLEY Consulting together with Albert, and we have been supporting several startups through programs like this one, acceleration programs, but we are mainly working with big corporations. And today, what I want to do is to share with you or to talk about this collaboration between startups and corporations. And what I would like to share is the point of view of corporations. And often startups, they are open to collaborate with corporations. They need their help. They think it's important in order to grow. And often there are the corporations who they know how to do that, why they have to collaborate with a startup, which is the value that they can bring. And so we support them in all of these topics. And sharing with you this point of view may help to support in this matter. And at the end of the session, we'll talk about legal and IP issues to talk about how to manage that and some of the situations that may happen. I know that we are short of time, so I'll try to go try to focus on the main ideas. So I understand that you are seeing my screen.
Yes, it works.
Okay, so first of all, let me talk about which are the challenges for corporate innovation, and most of them are clear. There is a huge, strong pressure for radical innovation, mainly because product life cycle is short, and also the speed of transformation is getting faster because the standards are changing very fast. New regulations or the consumer's behavior is changing, and then force corporations to add some features and some standards to the products that need to be in place very fast. And disruption is the new normal. Customers are adopting disruptive technologies and new business models faster than ever. Probably all of us, we are open to test new apps, new solutions, new business models faster than before. When people talk about early adopters and people like that, today most of our are early adopters of these new value propositions. And also, disruptive innovation is becoming a powerful source of competitive advantage because everything is going so fast. Markets are globals, and if you are not innovating all the time, then you can be out of the market very, very fast. And one of the problems is that the disruption is coming from everywhere. Everywhere in the world can appear a startup, a research center, an invention that can change the rules of the market. So we have to be aware of everything that's happening worldwide. On the other hand, there are several mega trends that are becoming a source of opportunities in new markets that maybe it doesn't exist or we are not there, like urbanization and mobility, sustainability, climate change, globalization, etc. And startups are the companies or the people that first react to these opportunities. When there is an opportunity because some regulation changed or because a new technology like artificial intelligence or others are bringing new opportunities, are the startups who start a company and they bring this solution to the market. So this is why it's so important, the role of startups. So this is these mega trends shape the new competitive environment, and big corporations need to be aware of that. So, and why not leveraging on R&D departments? mainly because the focus is in core business. They are focused on their core business. And sometimes the disruption comes from different areas. And maybe the business model that we are exploiting today is not going to be anymore in the future. So we have to move from that. And R&D departments, they cannot identify these new opportunities and apply them because they are focused on the core business. And also, the areas of knowledge are limited. If we are investing or we're putting money in our department of R&D, we can put money investigating in some specific fields, but not in all of them. And mainly, the innovation comes from one of the fields that we are not focusing on. Then we are losing an opportunity. And in the same way, discovery areas are predefined by corporations management. And these departments, they have a budget to develop a specific solution within a specific technology for a specific market. So everything is predefined. And as we've seen, things change very fast. So this is not enough. In the other hand, we've seen that the speed is very important for catching all of these changes. It's important to catch consumer trends as they emerge. And if we are making an internal development for something, often takes a long time. And then the return comes so late, then it's difficult to explain to the corporation. It's difficult to get the budget for that, compared with the startups. And then the companies that are built for speed, they can realize that the first mover advantage. And this is very important in terms of competitiveness. So this is why it's not working, the internal units for R&D and innovation. So here are the startups. No? What we say when some of the companies ask us, why should we collaborate with the startups? Why should we focus on that? Why should we develop skills doing that? We say that corporations cannot ignore startups. Startups are there. And we've seen that they are the first ones reacting to changes in the environment. I've seen if even regulation is consumers' behavior, is new technologies emerging, or whatever. When there is an opportunity, there is a startup that is going there to take advantage of the opportunity. So corporations looking for radical innovation, they need to engage with the startups as a source of opportunities to disrupt in their markets, or new ones, as we're saying. And instead of viewing the startups as agents of disruption, companies are trying to collaborate with them to transform them into engines of corporate innovation. So the startups and the innovation ecosystem is not a threat, is an opportunity for corporations if they see them as an engine for innovation, collaborating with them. So which is the contribution of startups to corporate innovation? First one is about breadth. We've said that our internal departments, they are focusing on specific areas, the core business areas, but the startups are everywhere, testing with everything, with different solutions, with different approaches, with different focus. So the breadth is enormous. So they cover all of the areas. Then the speed, they are fast on doing that. And maybe it's not only about the speed, but if they start to develop some idea 2 years ago, if today we think that it's a good idea, we can implement to implement that idea very fast, because we already have the solution from the startup of the research center. If we have to develop it by our own, it takes a long time. And then it's also about talent. And these new technologies or new approaches requires different talent, different people, different capacities. And as startups are everywhere, working in all of the areas, the talent is there. And when we are collaborating with a startup as a corporation, then we are taking advantage of all of the talent that's everywhere. And even it's difficult, even if you decide to invest in people or you are hiring a specific person who knows about a specific technology, that may change. And maybe 1 year later, it's not that the capacity that we need or the talent that we need. So when you are, as a corporation, collaborating with startups, you have all of the talent for you. And then there is no legacy. That is also important because we observe and we see that when working with big corporations, that they have several industrial plants, worldwide, and there is a corporation over all of them. When trying to do things differently, in a different way for maybe the same customers but with a new value proposition, it's difficult to move the people of the plants, the people who are working every day with the clients with one specific value proposition. Changing that is difficult. The mindset is difficult to change. Compared to the startup, they don't have that legacy, and it's very easy to develop a new value proposition, new ways of doing things, and then it's much easier for corporations to collaborate with them to implement than trying to develop internally. And one different thing or very important thing is the ecosystem and the startup support ecosystem. And there are several programs like this one, Epicentre, and other ones, and these programs are here for a long time, and that makes that the startups are ready to collaborate very fast with corporations. I remember maybe 6-7 years ago, when talking to startups, it was difficult because they were not ready. There were some problems even with the team, the relationship with the people in the company. It was not clear how to work together. There was not a clear strategy about to collaborate with corporations or where to go, and it was difficult. But today, after these acceleration programs, mentorship programs, all of that, startups are very well prepared, and they are ready to be in place and collaborating very fast with corporations. And this is a very good advantage. Then, of course, working together is putting together the best of two worlds. You know, for corporations, they have significant resources, larger scale systems. The brand is also very important for selling the product, efficient processes, a big customer base to try our proposition. So that's clear. And the startups, as we say, they have other values. No? They have innovative ideas, agility, willingness to take risk, respond to emerging opportunities, ambition, aspiration of rapid growth. This is very important, but there are also some challenges that need to be addressed in order to make this collaboration work. And it is there are some cultural differences, organizational speed, and fears to collaborate openly. Probably some of you have had some issues or concerns about these collaborations, maybe thinking that a big corporation can take advantage of your knowledge and you are not taking advantage of the corporation. Then we will discuss later about that. So if we look to the point of view of the entrepreneur, large firms' capital is always welcome, and their technical and marketing sites can accelerate success. They bring credibility for the start on the market. They are a real go-to-market partner for a pilot. They give access to experts and specialized equipment like labs or testing facilities, but they may limit the freedom to pivot and to collaborate with other competitors that in some cases could be interesting. Sometimes if there is a corporation collaborating with a startup in a specific area, if the startup feels that they have to pivot to another one because there is a more significant market or for any other reason, it can be difficult if the corporation have invested or supported the startup for the other market. Then it's not always clear if the corporate investor has a hidden agenda that contradicts the startup goals. And it may exist some fear that companies could steal their ideas or the IP. And probably you have some of those concerns. The traditional approach of corporate vendors have been linked to the market cycles, the stock market cycles. The traditional approach was the big corporations investing into startups to monitor the technologies, to influence the decisions and potentially get these financial returns. And the financial returns was an important part. And they came when making an IPO of the startup, and then the market, when we're growing, the economic return was really huge in several cases. And this is why in mid-60s, when the stock market had a strong growth, and the activity of big corporations investing in startups was very, very high till the market collapsed in 73. Next cycle, it was around the 80s, and again, some reduction of capital gain taxes made that the stock markets grow again, and then the return was very high when going to those markets. Then around 2000, with the internet era, there was another huge cycle about big corporations investing in internet initiatives and then making the IPO and getting an incredible amounts of money when going to the markets till the bubble failed, and with the economic crisis, all of that activity finished. Later on, approximately around 2005, this activity changed a little bit. The main driver was not the return, was not about going to the capital markets. It was about that there was enough with innovation in-house, because what we said, this radical change, disruption, and all of that, and the globalization also were putting pressure, and then there were many technologies in the industry that need to be applied. In order to better manage that, corporations developed new ways to collaborate with startups in order to get that innovation, and it was the capital market was not the main driver. They tried to focus on innovation and emerging markets. So this was a traditional market that changed, and this traditional approach in order to implement was very similar to a corporate venture capital company. And in fact, what we're looking for is quite different, because when collaborating with the startups, we're not looking for that return. But what we're looking for is we need to contribute to the strategic goals of the corporation. And we need to collaborate with R&D departments, because often we may need them in order to validate the solutions that we find in the market. Or maybe we'll need them in order to make sure that we implement successfully this solution in our factory. And also because shareholders of big corporations, they prefer to invest their money, or they diversify their own portfolio based on their own criteria. They don't want that corporation invest in other initiatives. They want the corporation to invest in new market, new solutions to grow the corporation, and then the investor, the shareholder, getting the return. So this traditional approach was not working well, and then is when appeared a new paradigm. So with the current level of disruption, the companies that look for speed and agility, they have to develop more agile and rapid ways to engage with the startups community. We've seen the traditional corporate venture process takes time, because you need to screen and want to find, validate, and assess many startups. Then you have to go through the due diligence process, and if you finally invest in them, you have to be in the board, and it takes time and responsibilities, and then managing the exit if necessary. So it takes a long time. Minimum it's 6 months, and we don't have that time. So this is why appeared new approaches that replace the participation or the equity with shared technology, in order to connect both worlds with fewer organizational costs and greater speed and agility. So these models try to balance the speed and agility against the control and a strategic direction. This is about collaborating instead of investing. So since several years ago, corporations, they don't need to invest in a startup in order to get access to the technology or the different approach that can change the market rules. Just collaborating, it's as a faster, cheaper, and more agile way to get this innovation in place and take advantage of the speed, compared with the time that the traditional approach took for that process. So nowadays, corporations are looking more for this collaboration than for the investment, and this can be in many cases a good new for startups, because that gives the resources, because even not investing, when collaborating, they can develop a proof of concept, a pilot, and all of that. Then they can be venture client that gives a lot of value to the startup, but you don't feel like that they have the control and that you cannot pivot if you need that. So that's good for the corporation, and it's also good for the startups ecosystem. Then the collaborations models, when not investing, can be many of them. It can be a license agreement, a venture client, a joint venture, and of course you also can get this equity participation. But this is not the main objective. You can do that, but it's not the main objective. And then any kind of collaboration agreement, the private one, it's a collaboration model to collaborate corporations and startups. And now moving just in 2 minutes, I'm moving to the legal and IP issues. If we manage these legal and IP issues properly, that helps to avoid fears for both parties. And I would like to talk about 2 documents. The first one is before starting to talk to the corporation, or the corporation to the startup. And the second one is before starting a collaboration. And what I'm showing now in the screen is this first document. Is when we start to talk with a corporation, or looking from the other side, the corporation start to talk with a startup, often they say, we have to sign an NDA. That's fine, let's sign an NDA. But we can go beyond that point. And it's good to develop this document, to sign this document that we can call a pre-assessment term sheet, or however you want to call that. It's a kind of a letter of intent and an NDA altogether. And the objective of the document is to declare the interest of collaborating together and making sure that there are no misunderstandings when moving forward around this collaboration. And that can include some parts which are binding parts and others that are not. And it's a good point to start with this part as a declaration of interest in collaborating, and the assumption or limitations that may modify or alter or can change this approach in the future. And it's about sharing the expectations. Why we are together talking about the collaboration, which is our intention. We want to test your solution because we want to get shares about your companies, or we just want to license your technology because we think it's interesting. So it's important to make sure that we share which is the future interest, in order to avoid any future understanding. This is not binding, and therefore we may change later on. But at least later on, both parts can say that the initial idea was what we agreed in this document. And then there are other concepts which are binding, for like the confidentiality, the NDA. That's an important document, as you know. And then the recognition of intellectual property, saying, okay, we have this NDA, but I want to tell you in advance that we have this this intellectual property in these areas. We have this knowledge, we have developed this solution, and this is our IP, and that we will share with you if we get an agreement later on. And maybe the corporation may say that, okay, I'm not going to invest in you, we just going to collaborate, but I want the right to first option, maybe for investing or for getting a license in a specific market, and I want to have this first option. Second one is a subscription rights of the share. You can say, okay, I'm not going to invest in your startup, we're going to make a pilot altogether, but if later in the future I see that, or you decide to make a capital increase and you're looking for some shareholders, I want to have a preference in front of the others, so making sure they have an opportunity to get in your capital before others, maybe in the same conditions without any discount. But for some corporations, it's interesting to know that if they make a pilot with a startup, and then that pilot success and the value of the company is growing, and the expectations is they're going to grow even faster, then they're having the opportunity to be in the capital as soon as possible. Then there are other topics to include this kind of document, which is about privacy and personal data sharing. It's important to match the regulations and other things that may bring some trust in the collaboration, like not hiring employees from the other company. If there is a startup with somebody that is very knowledgeable about a specific technology, that it's an important part of the capital of the startup, may be interesting to sign that the corporation is not going to hire an employee from the startup to be able to talk openly and share everything. So this is one of the documents that we think and we've seen and that is very important to sign in advance, to share expectations, and then to close everything that's important to be signed. The second one is about when we decide to collaborate all together. This is the last slide, sorry, I'm finishing. And is the partnership agreement. If we want to collaborate, making a proof of concept, all of that, it's important to sign an agreement. And the agreement should include the objective of the collaboration, the project plan, scope, milestones, organization, the duration. It's important if there are several phases, and which is the rights according to each phase, and then obligation of the parties. Which is the contribution of each part related to resources and assets, and includes intellectual property. I'm bringing to this collaboration all of this knowledge, this intellectual property. In relation to the fulfillment of the task, one part is going to do some tasks, and the other is going to do some other tasks. Should be clear which is the responsibility of each part. And then some corporations may ask for the obligation to grant a license at the end of a project under specific agreement terms, a license related to products and territories. That's saying, for example, if the pilot goes well, I want you to license me the technology for this territory and for these specific products or these applications. Then there are also rights of the parties. Some things can be in obligations, another can be on the side of the rights. There are not many differences, but it's the right to first option when negotiating, an exploitation agreement, compensation in form of trade discounts, preferential subscription right that we talked before. Previously we said that you may want to get into the capital, and here you decide and you close the way to get these subscription rights. The corporation may ask for the right to information, to know all of the details about the proof of concept, results, ways of working. That's very interesting for the corporation, but for the startups, in some cases, may be preferable to not share everything. Depending the image rights, it's also a topic to be included in this agreement. And there are several ways of collaborating with the startups. I remember recently a situation where there was a corporation that wanted to include the technology of a startup, and in order to control that, they wanted to get some shares of the company. And the startup say, no, we don't feel comfortable with that because there are other big corporations that we would like to work with them in other territories. And if you are a partner of the startup, it may be difficult. So then in that case, we discuss about the corporation instead of getting shares, getting rights on the IP of the technology. So if later on the startup get royalties when licensing to other corporations in the same industry, this first corporation that supported the startup are also getting some profit about that license. Then it's important talking about penalties, or for corporations is important. If you agree to do something, for them, their view is that if the startup don't make their part, then there is a problem, because even if I have a penalty related with money, the startup have to pay any penalty. Often startups don't have money. And it's not helpful having that kind of penalties. So corporations think about penalties related with it. If the startup doesn't match their obligations, then they lose the rights of future exploitation of the IP, or allow the corporations to keep working in this area with some other people, or can do different things. In that collaboration, penalties can be related to what happened with the IP and the continuity of the project. And then it's important, this intellectual property recognition. Who is the owner of the IP contributed during the project, what is the IP contributed by the startup and for the corporation, and then deciding in this agreement about the ownership of the eventual protectable results that we will get at the end of the project. It's important being clear about who's the owner and who is going to be exploited. Because, for example, a company can they want the license to be applied in the territory that they work, their own territory, but maybe they want the rights of exploitation the IP got after the pilot in other territories where they are not present, but in form of royalties. So it's important about the property, the way of the how are we going to exploit the property, and if we are giving a specific license to the partner in a specific territory. So this is an overview of the legal and IP, and just to finalize, to bear in mind, there is a strong pressure for radical innovations. Corporations cannot ignore startups, so they need companies like you to be competitive, long-term competitive. Newer approaches replace equity with shared technology, different ways of sharing the technology, so they don't need to invest. There are many ways. And then clear and fair intellectual property management helps to get a really good collaboration. So thank you for listening, and that's all from my side. If you have any question, I'm open to answer.
Thank you, Marc, and thank you, Albert, for your sessions. I just wanted to mention also that Marc and Albert, they lead the Epicenter Academy. So this is just an example of everything that you can just learn in the Epicenter program. They have a pool of trainings and mentors, and they help you to go through the challenges through the program. And yeah, just for you to encourage you to apply to Epicenter project, which second call will start in 2 days and will be open for 2 months. So yeah, I don't know if you have any comments or any questions. If not, I think we can leave it here. No? So thank you, all of you, for being here, for your participation, and to Marc and Albert for your interesting sessions. So I hope to see your proposals, project proposals soon. Have a nice day.